There is a strange belief that many people quietly carry in their hearts. They believe that if their life is going to change, it must change dramatically. A big opportunity, a powerful moment, a sudden breakthrough. They imagine success arriving like lightning. But what if real change doesn't look like lightning? What if it looks more like a candle slowly burning in the dark? Tonight, let me tell you a story about a boy who believed his life would never change, until one small habit quietly transformed everything. In a quiet town near the edge of a large river lived a young boy named Elias. Elias was not the worst student in his school, but he was never the best either. He sat somewhere in the middle of everything. Middle grades, middle talent, middle confidence. If someone asked his teachers about him, they would say, "Elias is a good boy, but nothing special." And after hearing that sentence many times, Elias slowly began to believe it. Nothing special. He watched other students succeed around him. One friend spoke English fluently, another won sports competitions, another always seemed confident when speaking in front of the class. Elias, however, felt different. Every time he tried to improve himself, he failed. One year he promised himself he would study harder. He made a schedule. He planned to study 3 hours every evening. The plan lasted 4 days. Then he stopped. Another time, he decided to exercise every morning. He watched motivational videos. He felt excited. The first morning he ran for 20 minutes. The second morning he ran for 10. By the third morning he stayed in bed. After many attempts, Elias came to a quiet conclusion. Maybe some people were simply born extraordinary, and maybe he was not one of them. One afternoon, Elias was walking home from school when he noticed an old man sitting beside the river. The man was carving something from a piece of wood. Elias had seen this man before. People in town called him Mr. Rowan. Some said he had once been a master craftsman. Curious, Elias stopped to watch. The old man held a small knife and slowly carved the wood. Tiny pieces fell to the ground. Elias watched for a few minutes before asking, "Sir, what are you making?" Mr. Rowan smiled. "A spoon." Elias looked confused. "A spoon?" The wood still looked like a rough block. "It doesn't look like a spoon," Elias said. Mr. Rowan chuckled softly. "That's because you are only seeing one moment." He held up the wood. "Come back tomorrow." The next day, Elias returned. The block of wood now looked slightly different. Still rough, but the shape had changed. "See," said Mr. Rowan, "just a few cuts." The next day, Elias returned again. More pieces had been carved away. Slowly, the shape of a spoon began to appear. After a week, the spoon was almost finished. Smooth, balanced, beautiful. Elias was amazed. "How long did it take you to learn this?" he asked. "Mr. Rowan answered calmly. 40 years. Elias laughed. 40 years to make a spoon? No, the old man replied. 40 years of small cuts. Then Mr. Rowan said something Elias would never forget. Most people think transformation happens suddenly, but that is not how real change works. He placed the spoon in Elias's hand. This spoon did not appear today. It appeared because of hundreds of small cuts. One cut looks meaningless, but many cuts creates something beautiful. Elias stood silently. The old man continued, "If you try to change your whole life in one day, you will fail. But if you change one tiny thing each day, your life will transform." That night, Elias lay awake, thinking about those words. One tiny thing each day. It sounded too simple, but for the first time in years, the idea didn't feel overwhelming. The next morning, he tried something different. Instead of studying for 3 hours, he studied for 10 minutes. That was it. 10 minutes. It felt almost ridiculous. But he did it again the next day, and the next. After a week, 10 minutes became 15, then 20, then 30. Soon studying no longer felt impossible. He applied the same idea to exercise. Instead of running 5 kilometers, he started with 5 push-ups. The next day he did 6, then 7, then 8. Some days he felt tired, but doing 5 push-ups never felt too hard. Weeks later he was doing 30. Months later he could run for 20 minutes. He tried it with learning English too. Instead of memorizing entire grammar books, he learned 3 new words every day. Just 3. At first the progress felt invisible. No one noticed. Even Elias wondered if it mattered. But small actions have a secret power. They compound. 30 days later, Elias knew 90 new words. 3 months later, more than 200. Suddenly, English conversations felt easier. But the biggest change was something else: his confidence. For the first time in his life, Elias began trusting himself, because every day he proved something. He could keep promises to himself. 6 months passed. Elias was no longer the quiet boy sitting in the middle of everything. His grades improved. His body grew stronger. His voice sounded clearer when speaking. But the biggest surprise came during the school innovation competition. Students were asked to present an idea that could improve their town. Elias almost didn't join, but something inside him said, "Try." For 2 weeks he worked on his project, not for hours at a time, just small steps every day. Research for 20 minutes, write for 15, practice speaking for 10. Little by little, the presentation grew stronger. The day of the competition arrived. Many students presented impressive ideas. But when Elias stepped on stage, something unexpected happened. He felt calm, not because he was fearless, but because he knew something others didn't. Success was not built in one moment. It was built through hundreds of small efforts. When Elias finished speaking, the room was silent. Then the judges began clapping. That day, Elias won first place. His teachers were stunned. His classmates were confused. "How did you change so much?" they asked. Elias smiled. "I didn't change overnight. I just got 1% better every day." Months later, Elias returned to the river. Mr. Rowan was there again, carving another piece of wood. Elias showed him the competition medal. The old man examined it quietly. Then he nodded. "You see now," he said, "great things are not built with giant leaps. They are built with tiny cuts." He picked up a new block of wood. Every masterpiece begins as something ordinary. Transformation is simply patience in action. And this is the lesson most people never learn. They wait for motivation. They wait for the perfect moment. They wait for life to suddenly change. But life rarely changes that way. Real success is quiet. It happens in small daily actions no one notices. 1 page read today, 1 new word learned, 1 extra push-up, 1 small promise kept. If you improve 1% every day in 1 year, you will become nearly 37 times better. But if you wait for the perfect moment, 1 year may pass without change. So if you feel stuck, if you feel ordinary, remember Elias. Don't try to rebuild your life in a single day. Instead, ask yourself one question: what is the smallest action I can take today that makes me 1% better? Because greatness is not built in a moment. It is built slowly. 1 step, 1 habit, 1 tiny improvement at a time. And one day, you will look back and realize those tiny steps created the giant life you once dreamed of. If this story spoke to you, write 1% better in the comments. Sometimes the smallest steps lead to the biggest transformations. And if you enjoy stories that teach life lessons like this, don't forget to subscribe. More stories are waiting for you. See you in the next one.